I'm so grateful for another day to help stimulate the mental. Time to strategize, huddle up, where's your circle? I can feel the moment radiate through the convo. Talk is cheap, turn your faith into work. I drink my second cup and put my hands in the dirt. 2 cups, drinking straight drip from the earth. Caffeinated conversations, you heard them here first. One for the wake up. One for the wake up. Two for the work. Caffeinated conversations, you heard them here first.
Welcome back to Two Cups Cafe, where I'm your host, Alan C. Jackson, and who I have coming through for a high-quality caffeinated conversation today is my good friend James Ford. What's up, James?
How you doing, Alan? It's a pleasure to be here today.
Oh, man, I'm doing great, man. I'm just so happy, man. You just took the time out of your busy schedule, man. Come sit down, have a cup of coffee, man. Just break bread with me, man.
This is truly amazing. It's always love, you're a great guy, man.
Oh, man, I appreciate that, man. I mean, we got an opportunity to meet a couple years ago at a birthday party. You were doing business in Toledo and in Cleveland and Akron, but we actually met in New York City at a birthday party, so that was crazy, man. But since then, we had an opportunity, man. I learned so much from you about mental health stuff, and because you operate in that space, you have a mental health company called H2O, helping to overcome systems. But before we get into that, man, I just like to talk about your upbringing, how you came up, and anything you want to share about your childhood.
Oh man, well, I'm originally from Cleveland, born and raised. Grew up, in the inner city and in the outskirts to a small town called Bedford.
Okay.
And that was, coming up along with this generation, it's been a, you know, it, it's been a big transition through
Okay.
everything in life. So, I mean, um, I grew up in a single parent home. My mom was a school teacher, and she taught juveniles who were locked up.
Oh yeah, like incarcerated?
Yeah.
What was the name of the place you worked at?
Harry L. Eastman. It was a Cleveland school, Cleveland public school, but
Yeah.
it was ran by the county where it was at because it was such a bad environment. They had to relocate the whole it was one of the worst juvenile lockup facilities in the state of Ohio.
Wow.
And she taught special ed.
Okay.
For that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Is that still operating today? Or?
no, they closed down roughly maybe around '08.
Okay.
So I guess my senior year, she was like working at different schools, and she was getting ready to retire too, because she taught for like 30 some years.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I mean, she was the one that led me down the path that I chose. Like with education and everything. Like everything she instilled it in me, and
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. So, growing up with an educator, like, how was that at home? Like, how you doing worksheets and reading and all that?
no, my mom stopped helping me with my homework around 4th grade. That was it.
Okay.
Like she couldn't. She'll be like, "Look, you gotta call my friends,
Yeah.
or use the buddy system." I'm like, "Dang,
Oh man, that's a fancy word for cheating, ain't it? Yeah. No, I'm just messing with you.
That's exactly. I mean, I didn't know what to do, so I had to learn quick.
Yeah, for sure. So, what type of other things were you interested in growing up, man?
I was big into sports and
Okay.
music. I played. I literally did snowboarding, golf. Played a little basketball. Um, I was into wrestling, and I swam my whole life. Literally, like they got me swimming from like 5 and up.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
sports was really I was very passionate about, to learn, when you come from a family that, that's all they talk about,
Right.
at least on the guy side.
Oh, for sure.
So it just really inspired me to want to be involved with so many activities, and that's what I wasn't really the best student, but that's what would motivate me to get my act together when I was doing.
Staying eligible for sports and whatnot.
Yes, because
Yeah, for
that was
sure.
a hard thing.
Now I know you share another passion, man. I know we talked about before. You like WWE, man.
Yes, I'm a big wrestling fan and advocate. Like, I mean, I actually didn't start watching wrestling until roughly 97.
Mm,
And then I grew up on it. I bought all the toys. I was really
yeah,
a big collector into the action
yeah.
figures. My mom would get her checks and stuff and be like, all right, if you did good in school, we'll
Get
keep
you a couple of little guys. See, I asked you that because I already knew the answer, but I asked you that because I'm being a little self-serving. I like to tell people all the time that I went to WrestleMania 3. You know what I'm saying? Pontiac Silverdome. Got a chance to see Hulk Hogan body slam Andre the Giant. When I was a little kid, I was like, I said Hulkster, Hulkster. But realized years later, man, that Andre kind of hopped up for him, let him slam him. So that was
it's
crazy.
still, I guess with wrestling, it's still so inspiring to me because even though, it's sports entertainment,
Right.
I think the art of it is still, the suspense and everything that
Hmm.
comes along with it.
Storylines.
Yeah,
And those guys are world-class athletes still.
exactly. We can never discredit them for something
Yeah.
that they perform in front of all these folks day
Yeah.
on day. Not like working at 9 to 5. They're working 365.
Yeah, for sure,
So
100%.
it kind of I would apply that to everything in life. It would just motivate me to
Hmm.
want to do stuff, and I'm sure it'll motivate other folks to get up and grind or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be. So.
Yeah. So when you originally, when you graduated high school, and what'd you do next? You went straight to college, or?
Well, actually, a funny story. I was going to this school. I went to a college, but it was online,
Okay.
but it was in Florida. It
Mm.
was called Full Sail
Full
University.
Sail? Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I heard of them.
I was going to go there for sports, entertainment, and
Okay.
business. And the funny thing was that I'm not really tech savvy, so doing the online thing wasn't my
It wasn't
cup of
working
tea
for
yet.
you? Yeah.
So after the first week, I kind of dropped out from there.
Okay.
And literally, I was in, to rewind back in the time frame, all my friends were going to Toledo.
Okay.
So I was like, let me go to Toledo while I'm doing this online thing. I was living with some friends out here in 2009. So I actually came out here before I really officially came
Oh,
out.
so you just moved.
Yep, I moved because my mom gave me two options. She was like, "Hey, if, you can either you go to school
Yeah.
locally, or you can, get a job and stay here locally, or you just get out. Period." I'm like, well, I'm just,
There ain't no options. That's an
yeah,
ultimatum.
yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna just do all the above. Went to
Right.
Toledo for 3 weeks. I worked out here. I've been working at Walgreens since that was my first job in high school. So
Okay.
I just literally transferred to one out here
Okay.
for 3 weeks. They hired me right on the spot, giving me the opportunity. I had a job. I'm starting to get acclimated with the environment. And after those 3 weeks, I went back home. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go to UT for my first semester,
Okay.
for school. So then I came here in 2010.
Yeah.
And that's when I really came for school for political science. I switched my major.
Okay. So you poli sci?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
had dreams of being an attorney,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
after I looked at how long schooling will be, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if this for me.
Yeah.
But that's really what drove me, you know, being here, trying to, see what career path I was going to take.
Right.
And what was crazy though, drastically, all my friends had literally dropped out after the first year of school.
Yeah, man.
So,
They was all from Cleveland, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
and I had met so many people from Cleveland too. On top of
Yeah.
that, so I just felt like this was like a mini Cleveland in a
Right.
sense,
Right.
because that's all we knew. And then when I started really getting to know people from Toledo, but not as much as the Cleveland influence still was,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, for sure, man. So tell me how you when you were in school, like you said, you was doing political science. Is that when you started exploring mental health? Like, how did you start getting into that?
No, funny thing is, after fast forwarding to graduating,
Mm-hmm.
I was actually a substitute teacher for long-term and daily for TPS.
Okay.
So being with Toledo Public Schools, you start learning the environment outside of the work realm. You would
Yeah.
see so many people be in so many different industries, and one of my buddies was a dean at one of the schools, and he was like, "Hey, man, I think you would make a good case manager, and you need something that's a little more, providing like benefits and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that." So
Right.
I'm like, "Well, let me check out, let me try to interview." The
Mm-hmm.
first company I tried to interview for was separate from who they had introduced me to, and they were like, "Yeah, you don't have enough experience, blah blah
Okay.
blah." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, I got a degree, so whatever I got to learn, I was always willing to adapt to
Right.
things. So, um, long story short, I met up with his folks, and they hired me right on the spot. They were like, "Hey, you can figure this out. The hardest
Yeah.
part is just going to be, you know, maybe the tech side of it." I'm like, "Well, yeah, if y'all can teach me, I'll learn."
Right.
That's all it took. And then from that point forward, I started working and really starting to understand the industry and realize that mental health, you know, I've been going through this my whole life,
Mm.
and although my passion was always helping folks.
Okay.
So with that, it was like, oh, it was a no-brainer that this is something I really want to pursue. Then
Yeah.
I started learning the industry inside out. I really started asking the questions, that my peers and colleagues weren't
Mm-hmm.
asking or they weren't doing. I was going above and beyond for the client bases I serve.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, hey, I need to probably, just figure out how I could really, gear this to something that I can actually cherish.
Yeah.
And
I know, like you said, you was dealing the mental health was something you was dealing with your whole life. Like, what kind of stuck out from your experience to what you were kind of seeing?
man, dealing with growing up disabled, diversity and inclusion,
Mm-hmm.
always had to, persevere, always had to make a way just to be like amongst my fellow folks, like to prove something.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a lot of adversity, a lot of, like I can even like speak on like behalf of like family members.
Mm-hmm.
They would look at me a different way, and
Mm.
and then you would have the conversations where, I would see what my mom had to go through on the
Mm-hmm.
back end. Like I really didn't understand what she was facing,
Right.
trying to make sure I would be okay and, be the citizen I am.
Yeah.
So it,
So
it
how old were you when you kind of noticed like things was different?
oh man, maybe kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear kids say cruel things, or
Yeah.
or I always had to, either talk to them, and I articulate myself, then they will understand.
Okay. Yeah.
But seeing the judgmental things that that would
Mm.
occur, it was like, yeah, you could feel that and sense it. I mean, I can probably go back, like I said, kindergarten and
Yeah.
up, and then I would notice, like, the conversations and seeing my grandparents who helped. They were particularly ones that helped raise me too, because my father wasn't involved.
Mm-hmm.
That was a sign too. Like fast forward and later down the road, I found out from my brother, like my dad was like, with me having a disability, he
Mm-hmm.
really didn't accept me to that capacity.
Right.
He loved me, but to an
He didn't really know
extent,
how to deal with it.
yeah. So but once again, I felt all that, and I'm like, oh man, I was right.
Yeah.
My intuition, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
but when I meet you and people talk to you, man, you like you said, you so helpful, man. You always have a smile on your face, so you attribute that to like just your mother, really like just making sure that you knew that everything was gonna be okay.
yeah. I mean, I had a sense. I knew, from an early age, if I just worked hard and just really focused
Mm.
in and try to tune out the noise or the
Yeah.
naysayers and stuff, I kind of realized, like, all right, I just have to work harder than most. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody has a different path, and everybody comes from different situations, but it finally like dawned on me, like,
Right.
yeah, you got to move forward no matter what's going on in life. So
No, man, for sure. That's like, man, real key. Like to see you persevere and then to serve the population you serve. I know you like a living example. Like, hey, you can make it. You know, I mean, you might not be the fastest, the strongest, the smartest, but if you work hard and don't give up is the basic. You know,
man,
that's the thing above all. Like, not to give up.
I always say it every day. It's so easy to give up.
Mm,
It's so easy. But when you actually try and, do your due diligence to really
mm-hmm.
provide that source of, commitment with actually doing the work that you set out to do,
Right.
like helping out, like I still, even though like I know with the organization now, I'm still involved with like clients' lives,
Yeah.
and it's hard because you're not just dealing with one set of people, you're dealing with the people you serve and the people who serve the people you serve.
Right. Right. Right.
So with that being said, and it just takes, the the simple steps of they're not simple, but if
Yeah.
you practice them, just really the hard work and dedication and
Mm,
everything, and replicating that in everything you do, like, and going into the support source, like I have a pretty good foundation of folks that are
yeah.
around me that that push me every day, like my wife Roxy, she's
Yeah.
always there, and I still talk to my mom every day,
Yeah.
and I think, and then I talk to all my staff and
Yeah.
all the people that's around, friends, and just
It's
pushing this
definitely
forward.
blessed. So tell me how'd you come up with the name? You know, so it's H2O, helping to overcome systems. So like, what was the inspiration behind that?
So the inspiration behind that, a young lady actually helped me create H2O, named Miss Teresa Caldwell,
Okay.
and and she's still my mentor till this day.
Okay.
And she told me, like, we sat down and I was like, yeah, I want to start this organization. I want to brand it and market it. And she was like, well, let's just pray about it and let's come back together with something. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, I want to, it's got to have helping in it somewhere. Cause I'm
Yeah.
like,
Right.
that's all I do is help
So I'm
folks.
helping
She
her.
was like, all
Yeah.
right, tomorrow we'll come back with a name. She came back with the name and we went,
Okay.
and I'm, definitely grateful, and she truly inspired me to really brand this to the full
That's a
capacity.
blessing, man. So tell me about the systems though. So you overcoming systems. Like what when you say that, like what comes to your mind?
So dealing with everything that people face on a day-to-day basis, you have to overcome everything because
Okay.
most things in life are obstacles that you have to, get over, figure out a way to actually, you know, push yourself thus forward. So the systems part came from all the systems that are in place
Mm-hmm.
in the world that
Yeah.
that people have to deal with it.
So you have to deal with, so healthcare is a system,
Yep.
education is a system,
Yeah, the government system in itself,
government system.
and you never realize what you're going through until you
Hmm.
go through everything that's put before you in a
Yeah.
sense.
Like just what's it called? The Justice Department is a
Oh,
system.
yeah, every system that once again that's in place is, some are set up to help
Hmm.
folks, but some are designed how they want it to
Hmm.
go. So you have to overcome that. It's a mindset. It's
Yeah.
you have to really deep, like dig down deep within yourself
Hmm.
to understand how are you going to face these day-to-day issues, and how are you going to get the outcome that you want as
Yeah.
opposed to what somebody already, preset for you.
Yeah. Why kind of start understanding too, working with people and trying to help people navigate life is that a lot of times the frustration comes between them not knowing the rules or the engagement etiquette, so to speak, when you're trying to deal with, say, a medical professional. So now you have this medical professional that really wants to help this individual, but this individual a lot of times doesn't understand the questions. Like they might think you just being nosy or you trying to get all of my business. I just told you my big toe hurt. Why you want to know if my mom had diabetes? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times like case managers and things can be that go between to help decipher a lot of the barriers between those two people trying to navigate the system and then the people that actually are quote unquote part of the system but that they don't really understand it. Sometimes they're not speaking the same language.
Yeah, lack of education and information is so prevalent in society today. Like, if resources were so, accessible,
Hmm.
no one would have any issues. We wouldn't need, uh, like you said, mental health services, or we wouldn't need any services to help us and guide us through these
Hmm.
paths. But unfortunately, the society we live, we need that support, and some people need extra support.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that a lot of people have a lot of pride in a sense. Like everybody's taught, like you can do it on your own, you can do it.
Hmm.
There's honestly, coming from someone who really had to face that and still face it, I always need support. I think
Yeah.
everybody needs some sort of support or guidance.
Yeah. I think that's why you able to get further than probably a lot of people because you already have that. Like I'm the same way to an extent. Like I don't have a problem like telling somebody I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know like the answer. Like if I go to a establishment and I know I need to get information from them, I'll tell them like this is what I'm trying to accomplish. I don't really know how to do it. Or I don't know the right person to talk to, or I don't know what step to take next. Can you help me? And then sometimes they'll be like, well, just fill out this or that. Like, well, or go talk to this person. Well, I tried that, but they told me to come talk to you, or like, what should I do? And then sometimes they look at you kind of like you got two heads. Then they're like, well, okay, well, let me make a call. Let me help you. Or a lot of times you just have to stick in there and knowing that like I work with juveniles, so they don't like to ask questions. They don't like to say they don't know something because sometimes I'm explaining something. They're like, I know, I know. I'm like, you can't know because I didn't tell you yet. Just
Yeah.
give me a chance, and and you'll understand what I'm trying to convey to you. Besides just trying to hurry up and either get me to stop talking or just going off and do what you want to do.
Yeah, well, they're solely relying now, society on technology. That's why, you can go to Google and get an answer, but
Mm.
it's like you got to take it a step further. That's why with assistants, like them telling you that they already know, yeah, you can look up the answer, but is everything stated in the answer that pertains to what you're actually
Right.
trying to instill to them or trying to get them to understand? And no, it's not. They need breakdowns and but that's not, they want you to feel like you don't need any support from anybody, and it's like it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
You got to figure out, you have to allow somebody to help you.
Hmm.
And until people backs get up against the wall, then they try to like, oh
Right. You want
yeah, now
to.
you want to start asking the questions. It's like if you ask all this stuff in the beginning and actually rely on the person who's trying to help you, get everything from them before you just dismiss anything that they're saying. Because
Yeah, so I try to tell some of my young men that move out on their own. They have a job, get an apartment, or get a different living situation, and they come to me like, "Hey, man, can you help me out? If I don't give these people this amount of money, I'm getting evicted tomorrow." And I'm like, "Man, you knew 2 months ago,
exactly,
what I'm saying, that you can have a way to to pay your bills. I could have helped you when it was."
yeah.
You was a week late. Now you about to get your stuff set on the curb. Like it's not so much I can do to help you out.
Most folks, I've gathered from not just working in the industry, but just most people in general, they wait till, last minute. Procrastination is
Hmm.
big. And, some people just have to learn the hard way,
Mm.
unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the
Uh,
hardest part, letting them fail, though.
Yeah.
That's hard.
I mean, it's like I don't have a problem with, like me or most of the folks that, receiving help or
Hmm.
like you got to be willing to accept that because life is already hard enough. When you get up every day, you got to worry about probably millions of things,
Hmm.
tasks and objectives, goals that you have set forth. You got to worry about your family, all these things. Life is already hard. Don't make it any harder than what it is. If you can make
Mm.
it easier, that gives you some sort of relief and strength to go about doing whatever else you got to do. But
Yeah,
when you focus and fixate on things that could probably be resolved probably in a short period of time, it's like,
yeah.
why go through that?
No, for sure. So, get back to your organization. So, um, did you start in Toledo? You start in Cleveland? Like, how did that go?
So originally, I started in Toledo, and I was trying to collaborate with a lot of folks to get it off the ground because I believe in collective effort
Hmm.
heavily. Like even partnering with organizations around here, I
Hmm.
was just trying to find a rhyme to the reason of how I was going to go about it. But a lot of people, showing me a way. They were like, "We're okay, and we don't need you." And,
Right, right.
or they'll be like, "Oh, we need you so much, but we don't want to pay
They
you,
don't
or
want to
we don't want
compensate
to."
you.
Yeah, no compensation. They wanted to be nonprofits,
Hmm.
and just do it, off the strength of just
Yeah.
being a Christian and aspiring
Hmm.
man, and that's not what
Yeah, you
reality.
still gotta eat.
Yeah, I had to eat, my family got to eat, and the people that I'm gonna be working with, they're gonna need some sort of resources from me. They're not gonna just need me for nothing,
Right.
just to have a conversation, because talking ain't doing. So I want to produce something
How
for
you
them.
said something right there. You said talking ain't doing. I like that one.
Yes, yeah, it has to be quality. It has
Yeah.
to be something of substance. It has to be representative of me and my vision. So, that didn't work out with folks around here. So what I did was I went home to Cleveland and I
Hmm.
was looking for folks, and then uh, I had actually approached my partner currently,
Hmm.
uh, and she's not only just a partner, but she's a co-owner now too of
Okay.
H2O. And I approached her really just for just doing books and bookkeeping and
Yeah.
accounting. But got her along with this journey. It turned into way more than that. She left the corporate finance world for
Okay.
this, and she's been on this journey with me ever since. Just
Yeah.
trying to really, get this organization where it needs to be, and tremendously we've grown this, just in recent times, because it's still, still a struggle every
Hmm.
day. Like, I think people think organizations are, companies are just
Yeah.
sitting on gold mines of money, and
Hmm.
that's not what happens. You have to dedicate so much, time and effort into this, to get just the foundation
Right.
to stand up.
Yeah, because I know it's easy to start, but then when you find out like all of the ups and downs you have to go through, like you said, it's easy to quit. Like we can go file paperwork. Now you're an organization,
Mhm.
but now what does that mean on a day to day? Or then you get people that, a lot of people say they can do a lot of things,
Yeah.
and then they bring them, you're so happy, you bring them on board, and then you find out like later that they doing the same thing, in your organization as they did somewhere else. They talk good, start good, but to follow through, get somebody that's consistent. And then what I'm finding out, a lot these days too, is that people that help people, they need somebody to talk to consistently too, because that stress and that burnout and that fatigue, that compassion fatigue is real.
Yeah, I'm not just the advocate for it. I definitely went through it myself.
Okay.
Um, I still it's funny because our counseling staff and our therapist, they can so lift me, you know, and
Mm,
it's like, man, y'all put it on me, but they don't know what I go through on a day-to-day
yes,
basis,
sir.
like with the decisions that we have to make for others and
Mm,
everyone. Yeah, it's not an easy run. Like everybody's always, you know, they look at the outcomes and when they see other folks, like you said, competitors or whomever doing this and doing that, and then you feel like you're the tortoise in the
the
race,
race, yeah.
but it's a marathon.
Yes,
It's
sir.
not. No one's ahead of each other. No one's, you know, further. Like everybody has their own
They got their
problems.
own race to run,
Yeah.
yeah, for
No,
sure.
you don't look at, you know, when you focus solely on you, that's all you can, you know, you can do because you have to better yourself to get yourself in position to where you're going. You know, you just have to keep on enduring all the pain and the adversity, and you just have to realize, like, what are you really here for? What's your
Mm,
focus? Like, what are you really trying to accomplish? And
yeah.
have to remember that every day, no matter what's going on, no matter how much, you know, the ups, the downs, and the downs usually overflow the ups.
Mm.
But you,
Yeah, for sure. So you as an organization, your team, like in mental health services, like what's your sweet spot? Do you like to do youth, adults, seniors, or
so we like to work with all populations. We don't discriminate against anyone, like I said, from adults, seniors, anyone who suffers from bipolar or
hmm
schizophrenia, work with autism. I mean, A to Z.
yeah,
We start at 5 and up, but
okay,
we just we really try to get as many folks as possible that we can help. Like
yeah,
that's our ultimate goal. Like we eventually we want H2O to become the Cleveland Clinic of mental health. We
okay,
don't want to just be here for the next 10 years and you know go out into other industries and then
right,
let's just be a third. We want this to be sustainable forever.
right. So you want to set a
Yeah.
foundation of helping people that last far beyond
Yes.
yourself or
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, that shows, you know, our integrity as an organization. Like, we weren't just in it, you know, like most most people I see in these industries, it's just about the bottom line, and
hmm
it's
yeah. It's a
really,
I would say it's a dance, between uh, making the bottom line and then helping, and then how do you marry those two sometimes when you have people that they say they're concerned about the billables or the codes or whatever they can bill, how they bill, contact hours, and then I know case managers have to deal with. They have so much caseload, and how do you divide that up? Like I'm familiar somewhat with, how mental health agencies or how they operate. But I know just from talking with you last couple of years, your main focus is, even if you're not getting paid for it, I've seen you like, make sure you take some food to somebody or give some person a ride or take it to a job interview, and they might not, be even, how you say, it might not even can build for it at all. Just
yeah.
you as a person, you want to see people just thrive and get their needs met. So I
Yeah.
want to commend you on that publicly, man. That
Oh,
like I
appreciate
noticed that about you. Even telling me like, "Hey, you need help with this or that." I'm like, you're always trying to help somebody.
Yeah, and I appreciate those kind words. It's just, you know, I just understand if I'm breathing
Mm,
and I'm not missing a meal,
yeah.
and you know, I have to serve. Like, I
Mm,
mean, it was instilled in me from, you know, Jump Street. You know,
yeah.
like it's my village always raised me to like, no matter what, you know, it could be worse. And when I think about it, you know, in my head, even if I'm going through a rough patch or whatever the case may be, I I know who I am on the inside, so and that never changes.
Yeah.
Now, environments may change and things of that nature, and we may have to elevate certain, aspects of our life, but the core should always remain the same.
Mm.
I will never change. I just aspire to be like, I consider you one of my heroes.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, no, so that's what pushes me, like, to be in a position one day, to really be that source of help for everyone.
Mm. So I
So
noticed like too about you, I was kind of similar. Is that a lot of times you'll fade to the background and try to push others forward. But I just noticed that like even the last probably I learned this maybe the last 10 years of my life that there's certain things that you have to come forward and do. And I know a lot of times just being a helper, that's hard to have that spotlight on you, that shine. Because even when we were talking about sitting down and talking, you like, hey, maybe so and so come, or I know when we first met, you're like, well, you got to talk, to my CFO. She could explain things better than me. But I'm like, I want to hear what James got to say.
yeah, you with me, I'm not the best with my words, and that's what and that, like I said, it's always room for improvement for everything, and
Hmm.
that's something I'm still working on till this day, just really articulate myself that people can comprehend everything I'm saying. And I think sometimes when I state things, when it comes from another perspective, sometimes they just convey a little, and like you said, I give them credit because I like hearing things from other people's perspectives. Like
Hmm.
even what you're stating, like I like seeing it from, hearing it from you. So
Hmm.
now I can go back and evaluate things and really adjust to present myself in a way that you can understand, and then it'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, James already, I understand from him
Hmm.
completely. So yeah, I just, like you said, going off of other folks, sometimes I feel like they just,
You feel like they
they
present it like
present,
more
yeah,
precise or better.
yes,
But I will say that it's still like your voice, like you might not think you said a whole lot or it wasn't articulate or wasn't um, the language wasn't like a good public speaker or whatever, but your words and the intent of your words come across like they could still feel your heart in the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like
yes,
you could be like, hey, let's get together and, hang out. Like coming from you, I could feel it. But if somebody was like, hey, James said, you guys got to get together, you're like, oh, all right, whatever. So
yeah,
it's still like your personal interaction with people. And that's what drew me to you was like, I could feel the warmth and the willingness to, like you said, collaborate, collective effort. Like you get that when it comes from you. It doesn't feel like just like you said, the bottom line or business. You know what I'm saying? Like coming from you, say, yeah, I'm just want to be your friend, and it's like you could feel that. You know what I mean? So that's why I say you still need to make sure that, and all that, your organization and building, and you got great people, you got a great team, but yet certain things like certain introductions or collaborations, like you have to be the person that
yeah, to bridge
that
that
marry
gap.
those.
Yeah, no, certainly, and that's something I'm working on, as we speak. So
Yeah.
I just, appreciate, you actually seeing that, and because my intentions are always pure. Like I'm not some person reading from a script or
Mhm.
anything like that. Like
Mhm.
I mean what I say, and I try to instill that in, folks, to relay my messages or whatever they represent me. But yeah, it comes down to I do, have to take that initiative further and,
Mhm.
to really, bridge these gaps
Yeah.
and have these relationships intact. I mean, that's that's what I really like networking, and I'm usually the person who has to connect all the dots. So.
So I know how that is. Like a lot of people tell you like I do this. This is a form of expression for me. But in a networking, like you can put us in a room that's a networking event. I'm not gonna go up and talk to nobody like cold. Like, hey, how you doing? Like, what you do? What do you? I'm just not that type of guy. But just like, but if you get to meet me and talk, I'm just, it just flows naturally. But I'm not a fast starter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, when we first met, I thought it was really amazing and cool because there was a lot of people in the room that were talking that were actually sitting with us at that restaurant.
Hmm.
But we just instantly gravitated towards each other. We were
Yeah.
right across from each other, and you just started speaking to me, and because I was like a mile away, I probably was tired, and then I'm like, it was so much going on
Mhm.
prior to trying to even find the
I know,
establishment.
right?
It was like all these little things, but when we first spoke, it was like I felt very comfortable, and I felt like I could let down my hair, and
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was around
You
someone.
had to turn it on, like,
Yeah, like put on some spiel or I mean, we just started talking about where we were from, and
yeah.
like just simple things like, and and that those are the conversations that inspire me to really open up and to really get to know someone, or
Yeah,
and
man, I like that, man. So I know, so this is Two Cups Cafe, right? So it's one for the wake, one for the work. So like I tell people like the wake is like that symbolizes, your first wake up, that what are you thinking about? What are you meditating on? What are you looking forward to? What are you grateful for? And then the second one is the work. Now you get to that second cup, you're ready to, get it going. Now you focus towards those things that are motivating you. And somebody asked me recently, like, so you only drink 2 cups every day? I said, well, it's one for the wake and one for the work, like to start the work. Like during the work, you might have, two, three more, but I'm not gonna say like this is 6 cups. You know what I'm saying? So just the first one you wake, the second one to get to work. Now what you do after you get to work, and now that's on you. But what I would like to ask you is like what things like what's your first cup? Like what's motivating you? What you thankful for? What you looking forward to?
yeah. Well, what I'm looking forward to, I wake up to make impacts on other people's lives. Like I still have that drive always, first and foremost, to how may I do my, best to
Mm,
providing the quality of care or, service that we're actually contributing to
yeah.
society. So motivation for me is just people, and
Mm,
I don't want to let anyone down.
yeah.
Every day I have to work hard. So when I get up every day, I have to put on that hat and that face like, hey, we're determined to get something accomplished. Like every day we should be taking a step forward, even if it is, you know, uh, things that hinder you from achieving that
Hmm.
goal. You still have to move in that direction every day.
Yeah.
So if people, for my family, my wife, like that pushes me thus forward. So
Mm,
that's my cup every day.
yeah.
Taking that, just getting preparing to go out into the world, you know, that's the first cup, and then
Mm.
trying to get to the second one, it's just for me, that's the hardest part is to get
Okay.
to that.
Yeah, the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I try to put the people in place and the things in place to get, the work aspect of it.
Hmm.
Just trying to unite them together so we can actually get this accomplished.
That's one of the things about leadership that people don't realize that you're still working with people.
Yeah.
So it's the people that's helping the people, but the people that's helping the people, you got to get them on the same page,
Yes.
to help the people. Because I know at my I run a group home, and my daughter she helps me like immensely. So, but she's starting to realize that getting people to do what you ask them to do, even when they say they get it, sometimes you still, you thinking that you don't have to, I don't want to say use the word babysit, but you might not think you have to check on that progress as much as you do. like I try to tell her, it's never going to be a point to where you don't have to go behind or tweak, or you want to, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes are smoother than others, but you always going to have that you're always going to be guiding or redirecting or,
Yeah.
continuing to teach somebody, try to coach them up, because it's not the type of industry where you could just be like, oh, you didn't do your job, you know what, fire it, bring in another guy, he could do it better. It's not that type of interchanging pieces like that. You have to coach, you have to mentor, you have to inspire at times, you have to counsel at times. Sometimes you have to let them make mistakes, knowing, in a controlled situation. So,
Yeah, leadership is the hardest thing because, like you said, driving the ship is the hardest. Even though, with all the pieces and
hmm
everything that contributes to making it function or to actually go its course, it's always going to be obstacles. It's always going to be something. It's never going to be perfect.
yeah,
And when you realize that, you have to realize though this with that with those obstacles, it's always a way over them. It's always a way to overcome them.
yeah,
Like, but you have to contribute your part. If
hmm
you're the captain of the ship, you're gonna have to steer it.
no doubt, no doubt. Yes, it doesn't matter how much money you make or pay somebody. There's certain things that only you can do. So that's what I've learned in my role as leadership. I try to sometimes I try to delegate, too soon, and sometimes I didn't delegate things like I could have got somebody else to do. But there's certain parts of business that you may enjoy doing, like you might enjoy like cooking, for example. Like, oh, I'll make the meals for the boys, or I'll take them here, or I'll take them there. But your attention really sometimes needs to be somewhere else. But you might get lost in the weeds of because I enjoy this part, but I don't enjoy that part so much. But that's what I need to be doing as opposed to what I'm doing. So,
Yeah, wearing those many hats, you have to figure out how to interchange them, how to flip out, and like you said, it's all about timing and in the appropriate manner on how to, display that.
yeah, yeah. So before we get out of here, man, I just want to just ask you, like you say, like you're in mental health services, helping people. But what would CEO James say to little James, coming up in Cleveland, if you had a chance to sit down and talk to him?
Um, Man, if I can go back in time or to tell myself, I would just tell myself to stay focused and really, really like hone down on what you were passionate about.
Mm,
Like just really focus in on that heavily so you can really get your message across and really inspire others to be like yourself,
mm,
like because I mean, to get to this, it takes a steel tears and
mm-hmm.
it's so much of a sacrifice just to go from day to day. So I would just stay in there and stay focused and stay driven because it's all gonna work out one day.
Yeah, I like that, man. I like that. Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming by, man, speaking with me, man. I look forward to our friendship growing in the future. Well, we both real busy, but I try to take time and you call me sometimes just to check on me, man. I appreciate that because a lot of times people think that I got way more together sometimes than I do at different moments in life, and just hearing somebody giving you a encouraging word, man, means a lot. So when you check on me from time to time, just want you to let you know, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, always. It's a great honor once again. I just appreciate you. Like, you're a true friend. You're a brother. So it's greatly noted, and you're my hero too. So
Yeah, for sure, man. So as everybody, man, this has been Two Cups. I look forward to the H2O growing and being a just a industry name that we recognize in the city and the state as doing great things. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, share the channel. We just having high quality caffeinated conversations about different subjects, people from different sectors of life, and we look forward to bringing you those conversations in the future. And until next time, 2 cups.